My question is that if someone has deliberately sexual thoughts, is it considered haram? Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the passing thoughts that cross an individual's mind, they are forgiven as long as he does not speak or act upon it. From this hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we understand that the passing thoughts that cross an individual's mind, they are forgiven as long as a person does not talk or act upon it. As far as deliberately thinking about sexual thoughts are concerned, is it haram and is it a sin? The scholars, they have differed upon this into two opinions. The first opinion is the opinion of the majority of the scholars, wherein they say that if a person gets passing thoughts, and if he dwells upon these thoughts, and if he deliberately thinks about sexual thoughts, then it is a sin and it is haram. And Ibn Abdin, who is a famous Hanafi scholar, he says that the passing, if a person deliberately thinks about sexual thoughts, then it is haram. For example, a person who thinks about a woman who is a na-mahram, and he thinks and he fantasizes about this woman while he's having sexual relationships with his wife, it is haram. So if a person deliberately thinks about sexual thoughts or sexual fantasies and desires, it is haram, according to the first group of scholars. And Imam an-Nawawi, rahimahullah, he rightly says that if a person gets passing thoughts and if he dwells upon these thoughts, then it is haram. So whenever we get passing thoughts, we should ward it off. We should not continue thinking about these sexual thoughts and these sexual desires. For example, if a person gets a passing thought regarding a particular woman, so he should ward it off and he should stop thinking about it. But if he continues thinking about this and fantasizing about this woman who's a na-mahram, then it is a sin, as according to the opinion of the first group of scholars. And if a person is having sexual relationships with his wife, he cannot fantasize about another na-mahram woman. This is not permitted. The second opinion is wherein the scholars, they say that if a person, he dwells upon these thoughts, or if he deliberately thinks about regarding these thoughts, it is not a sin because he has not acted upon these thoughts. And if he is given an option to act upon these thoughts, he may not resort to acting upon them. And this is the opinion of the later Shafi scholars, including Ibn Subki. They say that if a person deliberately thinks about something, he has not acted upon it. So that's the reason there is no sin upon him. But the majority of the scholars, they say that if a person deliberately thinks about these thoughts, and if he dwells upon these thoughts, then he is committing a sin. And but natural, it is haram to think about these thoughts, because if a person thinks about these sexual thoughts and sexual fantasies deliberately, then it could lead to something that is even greater. It could lead to even a major sin like zina. And there is a ruling in Usul al-Fiqh which is called as Saddu al-Dhara'i'. All the things that lead to something that is haram, we need to close the doors and we should avoid doing such things. So these sexual desires, they can lead to something that is haram. So the moment we get these passing thoughts, we should ward it off immediately. So the moment we get any evil thought from the Satan, we should immediately recite, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. I seek refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. And we should try to engage in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more often and divert our mind away from these thoughts.